Welcome to Inside Outlook. I'm Jeff Havers, Superintendent of Pemberton Township Schools. As you know, youth mental health is an area of concern in schools throughout the country. Here at Pemberton Township Schools, we have always taken a proactive approach to our students' mental health. And today I'm here to talk about one of the long-standing programs in our high school that helps students successfully navigate their teenage years. Commonly known as the Hive, this school-based youth services program has served students at Pemberton Township High School for 35 years and recently expanded to provide services to our middle school students as well. With me today to talk about services the Hive provides at the high school is Director Stefanie Richardson, School Intervention Specialist Brenda Formanek, and Youth Development Specialist Chris Wilson. Welcome.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Mrs. Richardson, can you start by giving us some background on school-based youth services programs?
Sure. 35 years ago, there was a need for mental health in schools and continues to be a need today. And Pemberton was one of the original sites that was granted this opportunity through the Department of Children and Families to work with students right in the buildings that they spend the majority of their day.
Great. What type of specific programs do we offer here at the Hive for our high school students?
So we offer individual and family counseling services. We offer crisis intervention, academic support, peer mediation, recreation and socialization, linkages to organizations out in the community, assemblies and various events that our students take place in.
Wow, so there's a whole lot going on at the Hive.
A huge array of services. Students in and out through the day.
Mrs. Formanek, as a school intervention specialist, you see all different types of students. What services are most requested?
Typically, it's usually related to feeling overwhelmed, anxious, typically for like schoolwork or friend relationships or things that are going on at home, and then kind of that self-regulation to manage all of it. Sometimes there's the self-esteem piece as well as they're kind of going through their teenage years, but just trying to feel comfortable with themselves and manage all of their different emotions that they're feeling.
Right, there can be a lot of obstacles and hurdles in high school.
Absolutely.
Mr. Wilson, your role as the youth development specialist, can you tell us a little about that?
Yes, so I help the students, with the college process as far as, finding a college, maybe visiting the college, getting financial aid and money and scholarships for college. And as a recent college graduate, I feel like they appreciate my perspective on it because it's like, it's not so far removed. I also help with, the career path, so finding a job while they're in high school, maybe a job once they graduate because they don't want to go to college, which is totally fine because I didn't go to college right after high school either. I help with conflict resolution, which really comes down to, proper communication skills, so I feel like it's lacking in the high school because they're not fully developed yet. So they just know how to sometimes they don't know how to properly communicate what they're feeling, so I kind of help them with that too.
You help them not just to communicate through text?
Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely a challenge we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Research shows that schools play a critical role in promoting students' health and development and can help students feel connected. Mrs. Formanek, have you witnessed changes in students once they feel the sense of being supported and belonging at school?
Definitely. I do see that kids come down, like they'll have weekly appointments with me. Sometimes they'll come down before their weekly appointment just to check in for like 15 minutes and then still come for their scheduled appointment. I have seen like big changes where they start to feel more comfortable with who they are and themselves to be able to do some of the stuff that Chris helps with. Two examples that I can think of right off the top of my head are we had one student who attended our freshman orientation. Because we're located in the cafeteria, he just walked in one day and was like, hey, you guys did freshman orientation, I want to come in and hang out. Because he felt comfortable hanging out, I ended up doing individual counseling with him. He met with the youth development specialist. We really watched him grow and graduate as an honors student and go on and do amazing things. And then another more typical example would be a student that was referred for anxiety, relationship problems. I was working with her. We ended up dealing with grief and loss. She lost her father. We were able to process and manage that. She successfully graduated. She still stays in touch. She tells us how she is able to manage that grief and loss and that anniversary a lot better now. She has a place of her own, is at school. She also worked with the youth development specialist. So just them having that relationship and knowing that they can come down whenever they want Both of them would not have been able to get services outside of school because of transportation issues and large families and just the accessibility. So they were able to utilize us for many different things and had the convenience of being right there in their cafeteria.
Right, wonderful examples of how the Hive's helping our students. New Jersey, like many other states, has declared youth mental health a crisis, especially since the pandemic. But there is currently debate taking place in New Jersey among lawmakers who will pull these services out of schools and place them in regional hubs. Mrs. Richardson, can you explain how this would affect our students if that happens?
Exactly what Chris and Brenda just spoke of. There's no replacement for a caring adult in the school where they can just walk in at any time and get immediate access to services. I'm a champion of mental health and increased mental health in the state. However, there's no replacement for being inside the buildings where the kids spend the majority of their day.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's really special about the Hive is that any student can go to the Hive at any time, right? And you can have a student who just comes and hangs out to play a game, they build up relationships, there's a comfort level, and then maybe then I'm willing to come talk to somebody, right? Because now I feel more comfortable, I'm willing to come talk to you. Because many kids don't, when they're first having a problem, they're not, let me just go talk to a stranger.
We see that all the time.
Right? That's not really a comfort level. Let me just go talk to a stranger. So now there's a comfort level, they're able to kind of pull you aside, or you're just walking through, I'm sure, and talking to them casually, but then they're more willing to reach out and let you know that they're struggling
And
with
they're seeing
something.
us in the hallways, in the cafeteria, at their freshman orientation. When
Classrooms.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the big thing. If you go to a hub model where people are not at the school, many of our kids are just not going to reach out.
Right.
They're going to be suffering in isolation. Whereas here, you know, with that connection, with the relationships, you have relationships with other students, their friends, they're going to feel much more comfortable to come talk
We
to
have
you
friends
and get
bring
support.
friends all the time to us, or
Right.
come talk to us about a friend in need.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like our audience to know about the Hive?
Just that we're there, and we continue to be there, and we look forward to another 35 years
Right.
serving Pemberton families.
Right. And we need the Hive, right?
Yes.
We're also here after school and in the summer too. So for the kids that do build those connections with us, then they get that throughout the summer when the school's closed too.
Right. And
And
there's,
our students also, transportation is a big issue in the community. We're always talking about that with families, and so they wouldn't have access to be able to get somewhere to receive these services that we provide right here.
right. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thanks.
A few reminders before I go. Schools are closed this Thursday and Friday for the NJEA Convention and Veterans Day. Next week, we begin early dismissal days on Wednesday, November 16th through Wednesday, November 23rd. Please be sure to schedule your parent conference through the Genesis Parent Portal, and then attend these meetings because they're very important. And of course, schools will be closed for a Thanksgiving holiday, November 24th and 25th. The Board of Education will have a combined work session and action meeting on Thursday, November 17th at 6:30 p.m. in the Pemberton Township High School auditorium. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Inside Outlook.